Hey guys, it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another speed build and to another installment of the Squish. Plus, this is the fourth part of our Not So Berry tiny house series that I'm doing. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, we are building tiny houses based on the various generations of the Not So Berry challenge, which is a 10-generation gameplay challenge, legacy challenge created by Lil Simsy and Always Simming. I will have it linked down below with all of the details. So far, we have made tiny houses for Generation 1, which is mint, Generation 2, which is rose, Generation 3, which is yellow, and now this build is for Generation 4, which is gray. And I knew nothing about this generation going into it other than the color was gray, which is one of my personal favorites to use in real life and in The Sims. So I was excited to take a peek, and this is a really interesting generation, and it was quite the challenge, to be honest, to try and figure out how to incorporate all of the quirks and needs that this sim had into a tiny home. So I'm going to read you about this generation so you can see where I am at, and it was just a really interesting one. So Generation 4 Gray. You always felt that you were different. While the rest of your family was busy messing around in the lab, you just wanted to be outside playing basketball. You're very good at sports and you dream of becoming a professional athlete. To make up for your non-existent relationship with your parents, you want to be there for your own children as much as possible, and you love to sing. Your traits are active, slob, and music lover. Your aspiration is you want to be a bodybuilder, and your career is athlete. The rules of this challenge are you have to master the singing, parenting, and athletic skills. You have to master the athletic career and complete the bodybuilder aspiration. Have 3 failed relationships before finding your spouse and marry a neat sim. Be good friends with all of your children and have a family movie night with your spouse and children every Sunday. So that's a lot of different things. You like athletics, you want to be a good parent, you love music, you want to sing, you are a bodybuilder, you want to have movie nights. And so incorporating that all into a house with a primary color of gray was quite a challenge. So as you can see, as I was building this, I was grabbing different items and trying to see how I can incorporate those into the house. And I also wanted the home to sort of look athletic, and I don't really know what that means, but that was the that was the challenge. That was the desire. That was my goal, and I think I achieved it. But I was like, oh, bodybuilder. Maybe this will be a fun way to somehow incorporate the climbing wall from fitness stuff. I wanted to use a decent amount of stuff from that pack if possible. And I did end up using the climbing wall, but not as part of the build. As you might have seen in the beginning, I was starting to build walls around it. It just didn't work out the way I wanted it to, so I didn't end up using that in the end. But we do have an outdoor movie area out in the backyard for the family to go and hang out every Sunday night and have a movie night. I think that's such a cool and like cute thing to have your Sims do. I feel like I never have my Sims watch movies. So, I mean, that's what the Not So Berry challenge is all about, like having different experiences you might not normally use in the game. So this has just been a blast. I'm having so much fun going through all of the generations and building for them. And these are good like starter homes for the generations, or not, maybe not starter because I don't have a budget on these, but like a good spot to start as far as like sizing, and you could definitely expand as time goes on. It's just really fun to use the concept of each of these generations as where to get the ideas to build a tiny house from, because I never would have been like, I want to build a house for a sim who's a bodybuilder but loves to have movie nights and is really into parenting, and like that's just not a concept that would have popped into my brain. So that is what we're doing. There's a basketball hoop outside. I have the new like garage door thing that came with, or I guess they're barn doors, but I'm kind of using them as garage doors here, that came with the industrial loft kit. And I wanted to have some purple flowers outside because the next generation that this sim is going to give birth to is Generation Plum. So I wanted to have like a little nod to the next generation being purple. That's why there are some purple flowers hanging from the windows. I thought that that would be quite cute. And actually when we get to the inside, so this is a pretty small space, and they wanted to have kids and like be really close to them and do everything for their kids, I actually gave the kids the bedroom, and the parent, Generation Gray, actually has a Murphy bed in the living room. I thought that that made the most sense if I only had space for one bedroom, since the sim really wants to do everything for their kids and really be there for them. I thought it would make the most sense to let them have the bedroom. So that is what I did there, and we're just playing around with landscaping, trying to figure out the game plan right now. I added a gray car outside just to fill in space and add more gray, because with this series, I try to have primarily the color of the generation, but I don't want it to be entirely the color, because otherwise it's a little overwhelming and it just kind of looks bad in my opinion. So I try to incorporate it strongly, but also have other colors there as well, so that it looks natural. So there's some browns and like oranges on the outside of this build, but a lot of it is gray, and I think that worked really nicely for the vibe I was going for. It kind of has maybe like a gym or garage feel to it, which I think worked nicely for an athletic sim, and I had a lot of fun decorating it. So still working on the landscaping here, blending in the stone around the edge of the lot with some gravel, and I don't remember what order I do things in here. Also, that random pot of like purple flowers over on the right side of the build that's next to the fence, that's gonna go away. It's just kind of there. Adding some basketball clutter underneath the hoop and a bike as well. I feel like that would be some really good exercise, but I wanted to make sure there was space to play basketball because our sim loves basketball, and also, you know, play it with the kids. Maybe they really want their kids to get into basketball, but they don't want to. And we respect that because we love our kids and we're best friends with our kids, or good friends with our kids. So, and at least the generation that we're going to be playing in or building for after Generation Gray is not going to be into the same things as their parents. So, you know, we have to respect that because we're going to have quite an interesting plum generation. I am so excited to dive into building for them. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, if you have any ideas for any of the generations on what you would like to see, do let me know, and any feedback you have on this series is greatly appreciated. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it as much as I am filming it. This has just been so fun to do. So this is the movie area. We also have a pool out back. I thought that would be good for exercise and family time. And so yeah, this is the little movie theater section. I say little, but it's got a giant screen, and we have some of those comfy poofs that came from City Living, getting some planters out here as well, and just trying to make it look cozy. I also put a microphone because I was like, they like to sing. So I was just grabbing items as I thought of them. And do I get this weight machine out here? I think I do. I was like, okay, bodybuilder, we want some of these things. I put some stuff inside as well, but I wanted to incorporate as many things as possible. Some of the items I placed on this lot might break if it rains outside, but since I built this in Oasis Springs, it doesn't rain that often, so hopefully you'll be okay. Or you could like build a roof over certain items and you'll be fine. But what I did to incorporate the climbing wall was I made it so the back porch, you could walk down either side, and one side is just the climbing wall and the other side is the rest of the backyard. I felt that that was the best way to incorporate it. And I don't know, where do you normally put a climbing wall like that? It's a cool item. It's just really hard to use. Like, I love a lot of the items that came with fitness stuff, but I feel like the actual fitness things and the new item being the climbing wall was a little strange. I would have loved, like, I don't know, free weights and things like that. More, like, commonly used fitness equipment that you might have in your like home gym. Ooh, what if fitness stuff had come with like jump rope? That would have been really cool. I would have loved that. Anyway, we're figuring out the floor plan now and putting down this Murphy bed couch in the living space. This is going to be where we have our Gray generation sleep. It's the best I could do for this layout and still keep the space feeling pretty spacious for a family, because I decorated this assuming that we currently have 2 kids. And so that is how I decorated it. I just said that twice in a row in different orders. I apologize, but it's very gray in here. It's very, very gray. I tried to add a little bit of a pop of color, but the outside definitely has a little bit more variation to it than the inside, in my opinion. I was playing around with the flooring quite a bit because I really didn't like how gray and bland it was, but I'm pretty sure we end up keeping that in the end. And then I end up putting 2 different beds in here. These are not the ones I end up keeping, but I was trying to get 2 that matched, but one of them that was like a purpley color to represent the plum generation that comes next. And then another one that was just another color, but the headboards matched. I end up swapping them out later for ones from Parenthood instead. I think those ones are from Kids Room stuff. And then I am using the counters in here that are actually from Spa Day. I haven't really, I mean, I guess I've used these recently a couple of different times because we just got the Spa Day refresh. But before that, and this build, which I built before the refresh came out, I hadn't really used the Spa Day counters in a really long time because they're not like one of my favorites, but they do come in a gray swatch. So I thought that they worked nicely in here. And then I just have a table from Tiny Living with some bar stools at it and getting our kitchen appliances. I opted for a black stove because there was just too much gray in here, and getting a gray one I thought was just overkill at that point. But getting this nice shelf from Cool Kitchen to just get a little bit of color in here. It's got the blue on it. I thought that was pretty. And trying to figure out how to add more color in this space without it being overwhelming. But I actually love how this room came out. I think that pop of green with that plant next to the fridge helped out tremendously. We're getting a trash can over here, and I actually end up putting a calendar on the wall that is like the buff policeman. I was like, what if our like aspiration is we're a bodybuilder and we want to be in a bodybuilder calendar? So that's why I hung that up. And then we have like vegetables and stuff on the wall. I was thinking, you know, maybe they plan out their diets specifically because they are a bodybuilder and they need to eat the certain amount of things and very specifically to keep up with that lifestyle. So that's why I hung that up in there, and I thought it was another way to add some color into the space. And then right off to the right when you walk in the door is going to be kind of an open workout space that's directly connected to the living room. The living room has the Murphy bed in it and like a TV and stuff. All of the normal things you would expect to find in this space, plus some bookshelves, and I get a chair in the corner as well. I think I got the one from the Industrial Loft Kit. Potentially. I'm using quite a bit of that in this space. Obviously, I have the door there and the rug. Right now I have that chair. Yeah, I did swap it out for the Industrial Loft Kit one. I just think it worked nicely for this particular generation. I was like, yeah, this is perfect. And then I added like a soccer ball in here and a little poster as well. Just some of the interests that the sim had, I wanted to be represented throughout the entire space, and painting some of the inside inside walls as well, so that not everything was so white. I wanted to bring in some of those colors, but there is that mirror. I imagine your sims could work out in the mirror. We also have that I don't know what to call it, but it's kind of like a punching bag, but it's like a training machine that you can work out on in the corner. Is that the one that came with Strangerville? I'm not entirely sure. And then I wanted to add a parenting board in here as well, since the sim is so into being good friends with their kids and being really into being a good parent. So I thought having a parenting board from the Parenthood game pack would be a good idea. But this is the bathroom. It's super simple. It's just a shower, a sink, and a toilet. It's very gray, neutral, bland in here, but that's what we were going for. So no problems with that. And get another mirror in here because they're a good way to use space. And this was before we got the new swatches on the bathrobes, but I think the black one worked out fine in the end anyway. And getting a little rug in there as well. And then I think we should be moving on to the kids' bedroom after I place these washing and drying machines in the hallway space and a laundry basket so that you can do laundry in this house. But these are those beds that I had mentioned that I swapped out to from the Parenthood pack. I thought it was perfect to have the purple one and the blue one. And then this room ends up being matchy-matchy. I was kind of imagining that the Plum generation was really good friends with their sibling. I'm not sure if they're close in age or if they're twins. I'm not sure, but that was the concept I had for this particular bedroom. And I think it came out really cute in the end. And I also peeked at the Plum generation to get a little bit of an idea of some weird things I could add in here. And it basically said that they were an indecisive oddball and kind of a strange sim. So I added like some weird things. Primarily, I gave them their side table for all time severe as the jack-o'-lantern, which I thought was fun and a quirky thing that like a kid might like, or I might like. I like Halloween. So They have a jack-o'-lantern next to their bed and some posters and stuff. And then we are heading into screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.